Hello, and welcome to the Monday night Vorpal Board Dev Team stream. I am your host, James Lang, and I have with me Mike Mady. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good.
Thad Casey. Thad, how you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Not much. So tonight we're going to be playing Zombicide, Season 1. This is a classic. This is one of the games that got me back into playing board games. Hey, Agent Dave. Good to see you. You are actually the subscriber that got us to affiliate level. So cheers to Dave. Thank you for following us. So we're going to be playing Zombicide. This is a co-op game. I got it on Kickstarter a long time ago, so I think the first board game I kickstarted, and it became an obsession for me for a while. And then I kind of moved away from it for a little bit, played through Season 1 and Season 2, and then I haven't gone back to the more like Black Plague and like fantasy setting. So tonight we're going to try mission number 1, and if anybody in chat has experience with Zombicide, you're probably going to know that mission number 1 is awful. Very difficult. So we're going to see if we can make it through. Thad and Mike have both never played, and it's been a while for me. So apologies if we get any sort of rule stuff wrong. Feel free to jump in and kind of give us the business in chat. And then the only other thing to talk about before we start is that obviously we are playing this game inside Vorpal Board, which is this web-based platform for playing games remotely. The game is set up in my location, so I'm the local player, and it's actually just over to my left, right there. So I can turn and make the changes locally on the board that I need to. And then Mike and Thad are far away from where I am. So Mike's all the way in Wisconsin, and Thad's like I don't know, 25 miles. Thad, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And yeah, Agent Dave, one of the things that we like too is that, so this is just full screen in a Chrome browser. So essentially I can click this little button and you'll see that it's actually just in a Chrome browser. And then if I click it back, it'll go back full screen. So our intent was to give you enough screen real estate to have like stuff on the board, but then also just for streaming purposes. So if somebody wanted to stream this, they don't need to set up a bunch of weird software. They can just run it all out of one Chrome browser with the web chats and everything built right in. So these web chat windows are just part of the software. It's not some other application we're running or something. Okay. So the first things first with a game of Zombicide, you start with starting gear. And so I've already scanned in these 4 cards, which are our starting gear. So I'm going to play as Ross. Mike's going to play as Josh. Thad's going to... Oh, gosh, we have a Joshua and a Josh. Unbelievable.
I know. Not confusing at all.
Mike's going to play as Joshua. Thad's going to play as Josh. And then as a group, we're going to play as Ralph because they don't recommend to have only 3 players. So everybody just go and grab 1 card. I'm going to grab this one.
Lucky number 7.
All right.
No pan, no pan. Oh, yeah.
All right, so Josh got the pan.
I got the pan.
The pan's pretty bad.
Okay, so yeah,
Pan sucks.
the pan does suck, but somebody's got to get it. They only give you these items to start with. So, okay, so I have a pistol, and yeah, the pan is better than nothing, Dave. So I have a pistol as Ross. He gets +1 die as ranged. To orient you guys to your cards, along the top is your experience bar. And as you're gaining more experience by killing more zombies, you're going to get new skills. So when you're in blue, that's your starting skill. As soon as you move into yellow, you get whatever it says in your yellow skill. Usually it's just +1 action. And then once you get to orange, you start to get choices. So you can choose either the top or the bottom. And then when you get to red, you can choose one of the 3. And red is like all the way over to the far right edge. By the time we get to red, things are going to be wild.
Yeah,
at that
zombies
point.
get pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean the spawn rates get really, really high. So essentially the name of the game is for us to try to keep our experience levels even if we can, so that we don't have anybody get too far ahead and then make all the zombie spawns bad while the rest of us don't have good skills yet. So we should kind of like spread out the kills if we can get away with it.
Okay.
Our mission for today is to get into each of these buildings and get these little X's. And to pick up the X's, it's just an action to interact with the X. And then we got to gather them all, and then we got to get down here to the bottom left corner where there's an exit. And everyone should set up their dice just so you're using Zombicide dice. I'm actually going to go in there and do that now. And let's switch to Zombicide. And then I'll show off these neat Zombicide dice. Very fancy. So the dice are built using the dice builder, and that lets us put essentially icons on the sides how we want to without having to... Oh, somebody's rolling weird D6s and D8s over there. Thad. That's Thad. I knew it.
How'd you guess?
So it lets us build the dice without having like official assets or anything like that, so you can build the dice that you need. Okay, so let's get going. I'm gonna say I'll just go first. We'll go in top-down order.
Top to bottom.
Yeah. So I kind of think we want to give Ralph the pistol. So the starting skill that Ralph has, Steady Hand, lets him ignore friendly figures when he's firing into squares.
Oh, so it's like having a scope, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, essentially firing into a square is very dangerous for your buddies. And so I think it probably makes sense to trade. And I'll take the axe with Ross and give the pistol to Ralph. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. That's action number 1, because you can do a reorganize inventory, including a trade. All right, so now I have a fire axe, so I'm able to breach this doorway. And which way do we want to go, guys? Probably start up here in the top corner.
Oh, you think so? I was thinking we probably gotta go like a spiral like that or something.
Like start here?
Yeah, no?
Yeah, there's no doorway up through here.
That's true, but I mean, how are we gonna go over here otherwise? Like, this seems like it's kind of a...
Oh, yeah, hot spot.
Choke point.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to get there early.
All right, yeah, let's head over there. Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to breach this door right here. That takes an action. If you look at your cards, Thad, you can tell if your item can open doors because there's a little icon in the top right corner that shows like a door breaking.
Yep.
If it has an ear-looking thing, a yellow ear-looking thing, that means it generates noise. If it has a blue one, that means it generates no noise. And noise will come into... kind of effect when we deal with how the zombies move around the board, but for now we don't have to worry about it. All right, so I'm going to cut this door open. And that's my second action. And then I'm going to... I guess we're just running, right? 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out there. All right, Joshua, maybe Stephen King. I think that's supposed to be Stephen King, but honestly, I don't know.
Let's see what we got here. So crowbar, this thing's already open. Oh man. In my special ability, the lifesaver, what does that do again?
So lifesaver, if you are 1 square away from a space with a zombie in it, you can use a free action. It doesn't even cost you any actions. It will pull your character, it will pull any friendly characters in that square back to you.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can pull them right out of the space with the zombies, which is really nice. So, like, if we're clever and we have you kind of, like, hang behind us, we can always have you pull people out of trouble, essentially.
Pretty smart. Okay, cool. Let's see. So, 3 action, 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't want to go here because the zombies are going to spawn. They're going to spawn here, right?
Yeah, they're going to spawn in all locations.
And then, just trying to think if I can get ahead and open this door or not.
Yeah, I mean, if we all kind of get over there, we'll theoretically be able to kill whatever appears.
That's what I'm thinking.
So a couple questions from chat. Holistic Developer, you can change your player color. So, you know, I could switch to blue or red, depending. We only have a small palette currently because we haven't built it in to just have like a color picker. But we're gonna add a lot more colors to it. It starts randomized, but then you can change your color. And then Agent Dave, the interesting thing about Vorpal board is that's not actually the cam being very slow. The way that this image works is this is not a video camera. It's taking really, really high res photos. And the reason that we do really, really high res photos is, for example, this picture you're looking at here is way higher than 1080p. And so it lets me like zoom in on characters like this without seeing like all the pixelation of a 1920 by 1080 photo, or video feed. And that actually is the reason why we can keep latency requirements, or bandwidth requirements really low in the system. We are considering sort of trying to build a hybrid version for people who have phones that can handle it and people who have internet capabilities that can handle it, where we would sort of stream a video, but then when you hover over it, it lets you zoom in as if it's a photo. But that's still kind of in like the R&D era of the project. So for now, this is how all our board streaming works. And for most games, the camera updating once every second or two is totally acceptable. Thanks for the question, though. Okay, Mike, what's your plan?
Yeah, unless you think there's another way to go about this. I don't think the manual covers should really matter, but yeah,
let's play it fast and loose, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah,
the people want to see blood. 1, 2, 3. So you're all the way. You're looking death in the face over by this spawn point.
Yeah, I'm just either really smart or really stupid. I'm not sure.
No, I think you're smart, Mike. All right, so Josh, your skill, Slippery, is really, really powerful. And the way that works is normally when you have to move through squares that have zombies in them, you have to spend an additional movement point for every single zombie that you're moving through. And so that means most of the time when there's like a group of zombies, you can't go through their space. Josh completely ignores that. He can move through spaces with zombies, and he can have no penalty whatsoever. So the nice thing about him for this mission is he can actually run into these buildings through the zombies without losing all those movement points. So we can kind of like bait the zombies to come out, and then you can sort of rush in.
Okay. All right. So I think the only thing that makes sense is to repeat what Mike did.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's do it.
Okay, and then I think our only other guy is Ralph, and I assume he's going there too.
Hey, real quick, James. There's nothing we can do in here to search, right?
I don't think you're allowed to search in this starting room. No.
Sure. All right. Didn't think so.
Yeah, and then I think I actually think maybe Ralph stays here. Oh, he doesn't. Oh yeah, he has a gun, so we might have him stay here, so he has kind of sight lines and can shoot.
So there's no penalty for only doing 2 or 3 actions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
His range is only 1 square, so actually it's probably better to have him standing right here so he can shoot at whatever comes out right here.
Agent Dave's asking about how if we have presets for helping set up certain games.
We don't currently, so all the stuff that you see here, I scanned in prior to us playing, so like the character mats and stuff, I have the physical ones here. We have talked about almost having like the background image, so this white grid in the background, having little like areas to show you kind of where to lay things out, which is convenient. And then your next question, do you have to set up each time? Well, the answer is no. So like if we were to stop the game right now and come back later, all this stuff gets saved. So as soon as we join to this session again, all of these character mats will be here and all the cards will be here. And that's like really convenient for like legacy style dungeon crawlers. So the example I always use is like for Gloomhaven, I'll actually just save all my brute cards in one time. And then every time I play, they're all in there already with all my items. The only time I have to change things is if I level up or if I find some new gear or something like that. But it's nice for if you have to like pause a game and come back later, you don't have to scan everything back in essentially.
Well, if you have certain games you like playing, you can basically save your entire setup.
Yep. And
just move stuff around and start over.
Yeah, exactly. So another good example is like Root. So like I've scanned in the Root character boards, the player boards, and then like anytime I play, all the Root stuff's already ready to go, and I actually don't have to do any scanning for the setup pieces. Okay, so we all took our moves. And Thad, this is where I actually like draw cards to spawn the zombies.
So where you started from the top and then kind of going clockwise? Or?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's always start at the top.
Hey, James, before you jump ahead, did you want to leave Ralph right here? Back a step or no?
No, because zombies are going to spawn right here.
They're going to be right in this one.
And then he can actually shoot them from that square, and we don't have to have somebody step in there.
Okay.
Otherwise, he has the steady hand, so he would have been able to shoot through. But his range is only 1, so okay. Yeah. I keep changing my mind on that. All right, so I'm going to spawn from the top. All right, so the top is 1 walker, then 1 walker, then 1 walker, then nothing. So we got nothing down by us. That's pretty lucky.
That's super lucky.
Yeah, at the blue level, like you do get some lucky. You do get some lucky. You get some lucky rounds, and yeah, you can look at those pieces because those zombies are painted, baby.
Wait, you painted your zombies?
Yeah, but only a few.
Nice.
Only a few. I have maybe like half a dozen, so I always try to use the painted ones for the first zombies that come through. It does make a big difference. I've played some games with people who've done some more extensive painting than me, and it like really makes I think it makes a difference in terms of how the game feels.
Huh.
Okay. So Ross is up, and he's all the way over here, which is really kind of a bummer.
I'd bring him straight up.
Well, I think that we need to go 1, 2, and then I'll crack the door so that you guys don't have to use an action to open the door.
Yeah, and we only have a crowbar.
You're going to make noise. That doesn't really matter here, right?
Yeah, I'm going to make noise.
They're going to go our direction anyway.
Yeah, and every single character actually... counts as noise. So each one of us counts as a noise token. So the zombies are coming for us currently.
They're going to go us no matter what. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go open the door. All right, so this is the first time we've cracked a door, and when you crack a door, you spawn zombies in each room. And so we're going to start... What we've learned over time is the way to do it is to start from the furthest away and come towards you, just in case you pull one of the cards that gives the zombies an extra activation. So we're going to start right here. Ooh, we got 2 walkers back there. And then 1 walker. Oh no, you know what card this actually is? This is a sewers located on a tile with at least 1 character will spawn 1 zombie. So
oh no.
We do get one coming out of the sewers.
Oh boy. That's all right. We can take care of them.
Okay, so we have a zombie amongst us.
Uh-oh.
Agent Dave, yeah, if you have some ideas or questions that you don't want to do in chat, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or via email. I'm james@vorpalboard.com, and we can chat that way. Okay, so Ross's turn is over. He got the door open, and now it's Josh. What are you gonna do, Josh?
Yeah, so there is one in here. Or there's not.
There is not. So it just that card it actually gave us this guy right here, who's on our square.
And so I lose if I don't take this guy out. I lose a movement point, right?
Correct. When you try to leave the space, yeah. So I think you got to attack him.
I got to attack him, yeah. So let's see what I got here. So it's 1 die. I have to get at least a 4 to take him out. Is that right?
Yeah. So you roll 1 die, and it's a 4+, and we'll do 1 damage.
Okay. So I get the roll. That's pretty cool.
That's right, Agent Dave. Yeah, james@vorpalboard.com, spelled just like that. Yep. Thanks, Thad.
Yeah, man.
All right, Mike, take him down.
All the bots are going to spam you now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I should have done it.
That's cool. All right, here we go.
Oh, no. He misses. All right, so that's attack number 1.
So I get up to 3, right?
Yeah, yep.
Oh boy, not so good. For reals this time. Okay.
Come on, take him down. Got him.
Hey, all right.
All right, so that zombie's dead. Josh gets 1 experience. And your turn's over. That was a bummer. Took 3.
I mean, it could have been worse. I could have like not gotten him out of there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Josh.
Hey, Quinny.
I think you need to essentially get in there and get our token.
He should crack, so I can go get the other token.
Wait, he should crack what?
The door below us too.
Oh yeah, well I can't. We don't have anybody who can open that door.
No, Joshua can, right? His
Well,
turn isn't over.
Yeah, he used 3 actions, 3 attack actions.
Ah, we burnt all 3 with 3 rolls of dice.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
shit. Okay.
So yeah, I'd say get in there and get that X, and then get out of there. So hold on, I'm just checking one thing. I want to find out if we get 5. I think we get 5 experience for every one of those X's we pick up. Yes, it does. So when you pick up an X, it's going to give you 5 experience.
Okay.
All right. So 1 step in.
1 step out.
Yep. And the pickup is an action.
Okay. Got it. So I'm back where I am right now.
Yep. You're back where you are, and you have 5 experience, my friend.
Whoa.
Yeah, that you're going to go yellow here pretty soon. Since at 7,
All
you
right.
go yellow.
So I'm not picking up the 1 lower.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, because you're slippery, so you're probably going to be the guy who's picking up a lot of stuff. Okay, so that was Josh's whole action. And, I mean, I guess Ralph can just start moving in this direction.
Yeah, send him up.
And then he can take some pot shots at this zombie who's coming down the hall at him.
So
Yeah.
real quick, what are we gonna do about this lower one? I missed that when I was looking at it earlier. We shouldn't get that now, right?
I guess we could get it at the very end by cracking this door. But like that
And
might
we gotta go through all
the
these
way back
rooms
out
then.
Yeah, we're gonna have all these rooms, and we're probably gonna be orange by that time.
Yeah, we have no zombies right here. We got to get this.
Okay.
That'll
All
be
right.
what
We could
Ralph
kinda
and Joshua
split.
do.
Yeah, I know that's probably a dumb idea, but we could probably split up.
Well, you know what Ralph can do right now? Step in, search, step out,
Hey, there you go.
and because he might find something good.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially if he gets like a rifle or something.
You're
that'd be
right.
great.
Yeah, something better than he currently has. Okay, so he's gonna search. Let's see what he got. All right, so we got a laser pointer, combined with pause gun, pistol, submachine gun, or evil twins, and it's +1 dice roll.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
All right, so that's great.
So-
His pistol's even better than it was.
So that like is a layered one, right? Or did
Yeah,
we-
so
did
it'll sit
combine?
on top of this one.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
All right, so he now has, oh, that's killer. All right, so now he is a +1 to his die roll, with the pistol. Okay, cool.
That's a good call.
Yeah, Agent Dave. So the board cam is taking high res photos. So like this thing that I'm moving my mouse around over, that's taking high res photos every like second, and then streaming those photos to Mike and Thad, and me, into my web browser from over here.
Hey, James, show them real quick the difference in the hover of the layered cards. So this is a pretty cool feature of doing it digitally.
Yeah,
So just hover over the 2.
yeah. Just that you can kind of see how essentially, like, are you looking at the stream, Thad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So essentially, yeah, you can see the 2 cards sitting on top of each other. The zoom feature on my end looks a little bit different now than yours, because I've actually changed some stuff with that.
Oh, you did change it. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So now
Okay.
We're always tweaking that thing.
yeah, you can actually see kind of the cards sitting on top of each other now, which is nice. Okay.
So Ralph is done, right? You want 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah, that turns over. So spawn time. Well, so now we move. The zombies will either attack if there are any that can attack, but there aren't, and then they'll move, and then they'll spawn. All right. So you just see a blur of me. Okay, and so all the zombies have been updated. These guys are right on our tail. These ones are coming in this direction, and now I'm going to spawn from the top.
You move this one?
Oh, I forgot about that guy. Thanks, Mike. I totally would have. I would have just left him down there to.
To our detriment.
Yeah. All right. So we got a runner up top. That's not good.
Ooh.
So runners get 2 activations. So if they're 1 space away from you, they can step in and then attack, which makes them very dangerous. All right. Then a walker. Another walker. And another walker. So we do have a walker right next to us. All right. So I think probably Ross is going to open this door, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Ross is going to axe the door. So that's a good question, holistic developer. Yeah, so we do some analysis of sort of like the what changed in the image to determine if we want to send it or not. The thing that's a little bit tricky with that is so we looked at doing like just sending the difference across. So, just sending like, oh, this one little piece moved. What ends up happening a lot is, since you probably saw me as I was like moving the pieces, my arm and body can kind of get in the way, which kind of conspired to make that solution a little bit more kind of non-workable than we originally anticipated. Just because when we were trying to send the differences, sometimes we'd end up sending these like very bizarre differences across that's like half a human face or something. So for now, we're sending the full frames. And we're considering if we'll do sort of like sending image differences, which is more like what a video codec does when it streams data. It sends just the image differences for a while. So currently, to answer your question in a very long-windedly fashion, it just sends the whole frame every second and a half. Okay, so I'm gonna axe the door. And then we're going to spawn starting from here. Nothing.
Ooh.
2 walkers. 1 walker. And nothing.
Oh, that's huge.
Yep. Okay, cool.
So I'm up, is that right?
You are up, Joshua.
Did you update? Let's see.
You have 1 experience and Dad has 5.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Wait, James, how many actions did you do?
I just cracked the door. That was my first action. Sorry. Yeah. Good
thank
call,
you.
Thad.
So you can.
I could step
go
in
and get it,
or I could just bail out of here, because we know that one of you guys can step in and get out.
And Ralph's gonna take out that zombie, pretty much, right?
Yeah, Ralph's gonna shoot.
No,
we gotta worry about these.
Even?
We gotta worry about these 2.
Oh, true.
Well, I've got my pan.
Yeah, the pan. It's better than nothing. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have to be on the space with him.
Yeah, me, you, and Mike all have to be, on the space with them to attack.
So why wouldn't you go in here, take the thing, come back out?
Well, I can't. I only have 2 actions left. I just don't want to get stuck down here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd rather make our stand in this square.
Got it.
So maybe I'll just hang out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hang. All right, Josh, what are you up to?
Well, hold on, James, real quick before you just hang out. I could technically life save you, couldn't I? Or no?
No, there has to be a zombie in the square.
But isn't there gonna be a zombie when he moves towards you?
Yes.
On their move turn, that he's gonna move towards you.
Yeah, but then I act first.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Agent Dave, that's an interesting idea. So it is possible. So like we can send commands to the camera phones from here. Like there's a button down here to refocus the cameras. So if ever the cameras autofocus on something strange, which does happen every once in a while, you can say, "Oh, I want to refocus," and it'll do the refocus. So in theory, we do have the ability to request a update to the board by clicking on the button. So like if we wanted to make that a manual function. Although I am curious about sort of your like the use case there, like what game that would really work for. Instead of kind of just sort of taking it every second, it seems like it would get kind of old to have to click the button every time that the board updated. But let me know kind of what you were thinking. So I have 2 more actions. The other thing I could do is I could step in here and attack this guy.
Yeah. What's your weapon look like? So
It's a fire axe.
So you
Well,
basically
but then
have
you're on a
50-50
spawn
shot of
spot.
taking them out.
Yeah, and then I'm on a spawn spot, so next turn, like, the guys are going to spawn.
Man, I wouldn't do that. We got pistol
Yeah.
Ralph that can take him out. No, I think you're cool hanging out.
Oh
unless
no!
you
Look,
wanna-
if I step on and I don't
Uh-huh.
kill him, you can pull me out
Yeah.
on your
Good
turn.
point.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'll step
do
in.
that.
I'll step in here, and I'll kill one of these. If I don't kill, and you can pull me right back out on your turn.
Okay, good idea. Yes.
All right, so that's what I'm doing. He was over the line. He's
This
over
is
the
very
line.
unrealistic.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and axe this guy,
Roll,
and
roll,
and
roll.
an axe is a 4+ 2 damage. I don't need the 2 damage, but here we go.
What's that do?
That's a 1. It doesn't. It's just the dice are just a 1. All right, so I didn't kill him. All right, Mike, you're up.
All right, get back over here, buddy. I'm pulling you out.
Okay, cool.
We're
And
always
that doesn't.
bailing 'em
And
out.
that doesn't waste an action for you.
Oh, that's a freebie. That's right. Sweet.
Yep.
If I go up, I'm still within the blue, even if I get the token, right?
Yes. Yep.
So but Josh has the pan, so he might be the one that we want to do. And I might want to kill somebody, or no? No, that's not gonna work. Because I'd have to go in, try to kill him.
I mean, you could step in here and try to kill both of these guys.
But how would I get out? I could get totally.
Well,
stuck, right?
then we would be relying on Ralph to shoot those guys if you failed. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh boy. Guess we'll go for it, right? Ralph's pretty good at shooting.
Yeah, sure. Get in there. Come on, let's go.
For it. Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah. I want to roll some dice.
I do too.
All right, Mike, you're up in there.
Ready? Here we go. Oh,
Come on, crowbar.
Okay, so this is your third action. Got him.
whew,
Molotov cocktail.
Molotov. Yeah, that's a 6.
6.
Yeah, the Zombicide dice have a 6. A 6 and a 1 that way. Okay. All right, so now Thad, you're up. We're about to go yellow.
Okay, so I need to step in here and save Mike, right?
No,
No, you got the
you just
pan,
go. Yeah,
dude.
go get the thing.
Okay. Oh, great. So I go 1, 2, and then back to here.
Yeah.
You got it.
And now you're at 10 experience, so we're yellow already.
Oh, jeez.
But Thad, now you have 4 actions.
Does that happen right now?
I believe it does. We've always played that it does. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll explore then. Oh no, actually I should step out again.
Yeah. You know what you should do while you're in there, before you come out. You picked up, do a search, and then come out.
Well, search is an action, right?
Yeah, you just got a 4th action though.
1, 2.
All right.
Pick up is 3, 4.
Oh no, this is all one square right here.
Oh,
This-
it is.
Yeah, this room is all
Yeah.
one big square. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 1, pick up, search,
Come out.
move. Yeah, sweet. Thank you. I thought it was 2 squares. I see now.
Okay, come on, upgrade. Too bad you can't dual wield the pans.
Ooh, pistol.
Nice.
All right, so Thad, you can put that in your inventory. One thing that we might want to consider is those can be dual wielded. So,
The Ralphie boy.
yeah, we could give them to Ralph at some point, or we'll just have Josh hold on to it for the moment, and when he gets something better, melee weapon or something, we can pass it off.
Well, he can slip through, so he can pass
Right.
things a lot easier. Yeah.
All right, so we're good, and then Ralph's up. Mike, you want to roll for Ralph? You get to do the honors.
Oh yeah.
All right,
He's got
so
1 or 2. He's got 2 now, right?
no, it's +1 to his results.
No, I thought it was
Plus
+1
1 to dice roll.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah,
got it. So
so-
still 1 dice.
Yeah, still 1 die, but now it's a 3+, which is good.
Okay. Which one are we aiming at? The one in my square?
Yeah, I'd shoot that one first. Yeah,
Okay. Here we go.
got him.
Yeah.
All right, and so he picks up an experience, and then this one. Got him.
Yes. 2
Nice.
for 2.
And he gets another action. Move right.
What's his experience at now? So that's just up to 2.
He's just
right?
at 2, yeah. So
Okay.
he's got plenty of time.
And then yeah, what's he gonna do next? Move or no?
Yeah, I'd say let's start getting going.
Yeah. So move his
Just
way.
have, yeah.
Move out.
All
Because
right.
he's got that range.
Yeah, pretty decent start.
I don't know what you guys were saying about this level being hard.
Famous last words in Zombicide. It's just going to turn to
The
hell.
better it starts, the worse it'll turn out.
Okay, so all right, so zombies move first.
So we've got a runner up top, right?
Yeah, and he's coming down 2 squares. Yep.
What do people typically do? Do they like paint like the circle so you can pick them out better? Like make a runners.
No, runners versus walkers.
Yeah, because I can kind of pick it up here, but it's
yeah, you kind of. I mean, obviously, you guys have a. If I turn them, so you can kind of see them from the side, you're gonna see.
There's a difference.
Yeah, they kind of have like.
The
a
lean.
running lean. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Okay, that makes more sense.
But okay, so let's spawn starting from the top. All right, another runner up there. So that's no good. And then 2 runners to the right.
Oh.
And
wow.
then
This is where things step up.
yeah, 2 walkers at the bottom. And then next to us is 1 runner.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
we're gonna want to deal with him first.
Maybe we shouldn't have moved with.
No, it's all right. We got Ross going. Oh no, Ross doesn't. We don't want him to step in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as long as we're headed in this direction, I think we're okay. I mean,
we should be fine.
Yeah, runner's only going to get to here.
I think we'll be fine.
So, okay. So yeah, Agent Dave. That is some feedback we've gotten from Twitch streamers. We chatted with a bunch of people who did board game Twitch streaming, and they said sort of like the way the board camera refreshes is kind of a turn off for them, because one of the big things for the Twitch streamers is having like really high quality video and stuff. For playing an actual game, it works perfectly fine, but for like the presentation of a stream, it's not perfect. I think our solution that we're really going to spend the time into building is to have this be a video that then we overlay the images on for people who have the bandwidth to do it, which like the streaming community would fit into that category. But we'll see. We haven't, nothing's in stone there with that decision yet. Okay, so all right, I think Ross is gonna start moving, right? We want to go up here next.
Yes, that's where we're getting for.
I think that still makes sense, yeah.
So where's the runner guy? We have a runner here.
That's a runner and that's a walker. That's another runner there.
Oh boy.
And then these are 2 runners here. So there, I mean, we're going to get some convergence here for sure.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I think I just have to wait here, right?
I don't think you can. He'll attack you, right?
Who, the runner?
Yeah.
Well, I'm counting on Ralph stepping up and shooting him.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem is I can't.
Yeah, that's fine. Do that.
I mean, I guess I could.
It wouldn't make any sense to go through here, would it? 1, 2.
We
make any noise anywhere?
Yeah.
All right. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'd say hang out up here.
Yeah. All right. All right. Then. All right, Josh.
I'm gonna go where you are. I think 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish we had some ranged weapons, huh?
I mean, I got my trusty crowbar.
Yeah, the old crowbar.
Range of 0.
Okay, and then Josh.
Well.
Okay, so you could, Josh, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and end here.
Well, here's the other option. 1, 2,
3, 4.
Take a couple shots.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, I agree. Let's do it.
All right. So I'm moving with you guys, and I'm rolling 1, correct?
Yeah, it's a 1 die 4+ for your pistol. 5. Okay, so I think. Let me just make sure.
Is it walker or runner?
Walker first.
Okay.
So Walker's dead.
It's Walker, unless you have like the scope, right?
Yeah,
The
then you
scope,
can freely choose your targets. All right, so you're up to 11 experience.
Come on, Billy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, kid.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, 12 experience. All right, so we got some time before you get up to 19. That's where.
I can't get the next thing.
Yeah, we can't have you pick up the next one. Okay, great job. So now it's Ralph. I mean, I think he's got to go like 1, 2. But then the problem is this guy's going to come into space with him.
That's okay, right?
Yeah, I think it is okay.
What's this? This isn't a runner. No, it's a regular. These are runners right here, right?
Yeah, they're runners over there, yeah.
So what happens when they actually enter the space? We didn't go over that yet.
So if they enter the space, that's fine. The next turn, they would attack you.
Okay.
But the tricky thing about runners is, yeah, runner gets like 2 activations. So activation 1 would move him in, and then activation 2, he would attack if you were right next to him.
Got it.
But the walkers only go one at a time.
Okay.
And then fatties. We haven't had any fatties yet, but that's how they operate as well.
So offensive.
Yeah.
So what do we decide for Ralphie? 1, 2, hang out, or 1, 2, 3?
No, he can't go 3. He can't go 3
Why?
because the runner would attack him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. 1, 2.
So I'd say 1, 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's move these zombies. 1, 2.
I mean, that is an interesting idea, James, of like, I think this is what you guys are saying, where we could pause like the board streaming for a second and then resume it. Is that what he was suggesting?
No, he was suggesting like being able to choose when the update is happening. So kind of like have
what if we just paused it, just so like when you're in there moving stuff around, you pause it and then resume it, and then it goes back on.
Oh yeah, I mean it would be 2 clicks versus 1, I guess. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean I do think Mike, you and I have just talked about that idea around like the hybrid, which I think is.
I like the hybrid the best, but I'm just saying like to keep the arm out of the picture is really what yeah.
All right, so here we go. Spawn time. All right.
We're still in yellow, right?
We're still in yellow, yep.
Okay, good.
All right, 3 walkers up top. That's not great.
Dude, that's where we're going.
3 walkers over to the right. Yeah, as you can see, this accelerates significantly.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a bad one. All walkers get 1 extra turn, so they all activate.
Everyone?
All the walkers.
Oh, the walkers, right. For how long? Just this turn?
Yeah, just right now.
Oh, all right.
So that means every single one of them moves an extra space right now and/or attack.
Right.
Yeah, none of them were in position to attack, but yeah, all of them got into action.
Holy shit balls!
And then the 4th one is 2 walkers appearing on manholes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So the square we were on.
Wow. Wait. Oh my god.
Yeah, not so great, guys.
This game's the worst. Why do we pick this?
It's gonna be a short stream tonight.
Yeah, like I thought to myself, like, oh, I have enough walkers and stuff laid out, and I did not. I did not at all. Holistic developer, question from chat. The experience and health trackers that you're seeing right now on my screen are only controllable by me because they're currently actually in development. The other guys have their own as well that they're updating, but those will be shared and editable by everybody.
That's pretty trivial. We could actually do that. Like,
yeah, it'll be the same thing as cards. So like if I drag cards around, they can see them getting dragged, and they can drag the cards around. So yeah, all the little tracker elements.
Yeah, we want trackers. We want to have a bunch of little tokens, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all sorts of little pieces we can move around.
So that'll all be in there. Okay, so we're in dire straits here already, guys, which is pretty cool.
I'm excited.
I'm going to, I guess, step in and start trying to hack these people apart.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
So when you're close range, though, you can go after the runner first, right?
Correct. When you're in melee, you can choose your targets. Yep. So I'm going to go after the runner with my first attack, and my attack is a 4+. So.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so that's an experience for Ross, and then I'm gonna go again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got him.
Ooh. She survives. Okay, Mike, you're up.
I mean, so I got to get up there and join the party, pretty much, huh? Are there any runners in this square? There's one. That shouldn't matter, though.
Yeah, there's one runner who will get to us in this square next turn.
That's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna jump up and start hacking at Lady Zombie here.
Okay. All right, have at it, Mike. You're a 4+. All right, mister.
Oh, shit.
Got her.
Oh, well, thank goodness.
Okay. That's your whole turn, right?
That's right.
Okay, Josh. Let's get up here and start squeezing that trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, pops them off.
So that's one action, and then I got 3 shots, right?
Yep.
Okay. 1.
Okay, so
Oh.
you're gonna hit the
Where am I going?
the walkers first.
Well, should I go right or up? Can I choose which direction I shoot?
You
Yeah.
can. The only thing that you have to shoot right because we have 2 runners in here. So they're gonna get in this square.
We're gonna take damage, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Unless Ralph takes them all out.
Right. So yeah, let's go into the right.
Okay, so that's
You got 1.
action 2.
Yep.
Action
Ooh,
3 is a miss.
Miss.
Action 4, miss.
All right.
Oh boy, our luck might have run out.
Yeah, somebody's gonna take a wound here. Okay, so Ralph is gonna fire his pistol, and Josh, you got 1 more experience, and then Mike, you got an experience that round too, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who's rolling for Ralph?
I'll roll Ralphie.
All right.
Okay.
So his pistol's now a 3+.
So he gets no extra accuracy, right? So there's not. He can't point at the runner, correct?
Correct. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, so the best he can do is leave us 1 runner here. So,
So
we're
we'll just
definitely
take
gonna take
1
hit.
damage at best. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Okay. Got 2 of them, and I missed the last one. So that's bad news. That's
2
really bad.
runners.
2 runners. Agent Dave, yeah, so all those clips, those setups that are in that GIF that are kind of blipping by on the Kickstarter page, I think all of them are in the YouTube video that's also linked there that shows like a whole kind of demo reel of games that you can kind of see the actual setups. It's in fact we sped it up so you can see them all at once, and then there's almost all of those games I think on our YouTube channel as well if you want to see kind of like some of the samples of us playing through some of those games. Okay, so we're in trouble. No zombies can attack, but now we're gonna do activations. 1, 2. Okay, so now we have 2 runners in the square with us, and they are hitting us, so we're going to take wounds. And the way that wounds work is you get this wounded card, which I'm going to scan in right now, and that is going to go in one of your hand slots.
So we want Josh to not take a wound because he would he could lose a pan, I suppose.
Yeah, it'll pull some. Well, no, I mean, because you can't use that that pistol in close range because you'll shoot your buddies. So we should keep him with the pan.
Okay, but I think the wound should go to any of the other 3 players.
Yeah. Okay.
You're taking 1?
Yeah, I'll take 1. And then I think Joshua should, because we're going to try to have him pulling people out.
That's right.
So, okay. All right, cool. And in chat, if you didn't notice, we just sort of did a copy. So once we scan in a card, we can copy it. You know, if you need to make additional copies of it, you can do so. Just gonna blow those away. Okay. All right, so that's a bummer. Let's see if we can cut our way out of here. I'm gonna start by trying to fire axe these runners. So 4+. Got 1. Got 2. Got all 3.
Oh my gosh. Nice job, dude.
Wow. Lucky.
So that's great. That's huge.
Okay, so that's my whole turn. What are you doing,
All right.
Josh?
I guess I got to do the same, right? Because I can't really move without spinning
go
in
get
there.
these walkers. 3 of them.
1.
2.
Oh!
Yes.
You know what's good about that is I can shoot down now.
Yeah. All right. So we got all of them cleared. Joshua picks up 3 more experience, and it's Josh's turn.
So yeah,
you can shoot at these 2.
Down.
You can do like 1, 2, and then step up here, I guess.
Well, if you hit them both, you might have to.
Well,
Oh yeah, I might take multiple shots.
And we're getting pretty
Yeah.
lucky.
Let's see what happens. I should at least take a couple, right?
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't want to pick up the token anyway, so I might as well just stand here and take pop shots at people. And I have no crowbar or axe, so I can't open doors.
Holistic developer. So we do have in the dice drawer. It currently shows the last dice roll, but this will be a log of dice rolls that you can scroll through. Good question. We actually have been in a stream one time with my buddies, and a dice roll went by, and I thought I saw like a 4, and it was actually a 3, and we had to go back to the tape after the fact, and I was wrong, and I felt really bad about it because I forced him to listen to me. But yeah, we'll have a log of the dice rolls instead of just the last dice roll. All right, Thad, take some shots.
Actually, one thing I want to reply back on Ancient Dave, though he's asking about needing a lot more explaining on how this thing works.
Yeah.
And the different setups and whatnot. You want to talk about how we've kind of designed this so that people can set it up for the way they want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. So, like, the basic idea is that we built a generalized system because we wanted to be able to kind of, like, handle essentially every game, any game within reason. You know, we're not going to be able to do, like, dexterity games or whatever, but we tried to make a generalized set of tools that then we can give to people and say, we've built a bunch of tools between the card scanning, between the board streaming, between the UI elements that would let you play a bunch of different games. And so definitely when somebody picks this up, they're going to have to think, okay, here's what I want to play. How am I going to use the tools at my disposal to play this effectively? So there is a little bit of, I guess, figuring on each game, you know, because we're not going to kind of build any rules of any games into the systems. It's all just going to be as if you're sitting down at a virtual table and a physical table and kind of figuring out how you want to get things set up. Was that kind of what you were thinking about, that?
Yeah, and I don't know if that answers Agent Dave's question either.
Yeah. And then a question about the UI and user experience. Yeah, there is some stuff that's work in progress. The dice drawer is work in progress. And then, you know, just some of the, you might have heard us earlier talking about kind of the changes to how the zooming works. There are some things that we're still tweaking as we play more games, like how close we zoom, how big we make the little zoom window. So there definitely are things that are work in progress. Our goal is to keep everything really minimal, black and white, kind of stark, because really we want it to just be the game and the art of the game is kind of the focus when you're playing. That we don't have a lot of like flashy, you know, scroll type graphics or wood grain or whatever. We are going to support themes though, so if you wanted to have like a green felt background instead of the white grid, you could do that. or if you wanted to have a dark theme versus a light theme, you can do that as well. But like our sort of design goal with this is to have the user experience as minimal as possible, and sort of like fades into the background while you're playing. So we might not be clear here, Agent Dave. So like when I say like they have a blank canvas and tools, like this setup to play this game took me under 5 minutes today. So essentially all I did to set this up is mount the camera and scan in these 4 cards, and that was like the entirety of my setup. I don't want to make this sound like you're having to build your own layouts or something. Essentially, you just put the stuff under the cameras and then it appears inside the game. So while we did make a set of generalized tools to use to play games, like they're hopefully very, very easy to use. Yes, it's super easy to do. Yes. So like the scanning of the cards that you're seeing when I'm just like taking a card and putting it into the system is me just putting it in the scanning box. And then it popping into the game, and that's as fast as it goes. Like that's happening real time. That's not me putting this card in earlier or anything like that. That's it just recognizing the card with computer vision and bringing it in as an element into the game. That's a good point. I understand that you guys watching, it's kind of hard to tell what I'm doing over here, but like none of these cards that are coming into the game are actually built in or pre-scanned or anything. Those are just being scanned real time as I'm taking them off the deck, and then those come into the game as I scan them.
Why don't we set up for our next session? Why don't we set up like a overhead camera?
Yeah, I should probably like move
doing your thing.
Yeah, move my camera so it can see kind of the whole play area. I think that's a good idea. Just to kind of get the perspective of like the host, what it's like. Is the logo in the way of the card appearing? Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. Oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot.
There you go.
Nice.
That's what I get for being on Twitch with the overlays. All right, so let me just move these pieces back over.
So yeah, that's the spawn spot for the cards.
Yeah, so there is a little UI element that shows where the new cards are going to come in, and it's this little plus icon right here. So any card that gets scanned, it's just going to appear in. So for example, if I just take this pistol card and I put it in the scanning box, it's going to appear there. And then once it appears face down so that we can maintain secrecy, and then you can flip the card over and then you have it in the game. So these things are all real time. I wasn't sort of just like dragging them in off the side of the screen or something like that. Okay. Good comments. I don't remember where we were.
It's my turn. I still have all 4 actions.
Okay. Fire at will.
All right, so we'll go ahead.
That's a miss.
Miss.
Oh no, don't worry about it, Dave. Okay, so that's him.
That's why we're here, Dave. Ask questions.
Oh
man.
yeah, I mean that's the
whole
point.
point of the stream.
That's the point of the team streams, is to try to take feedback from people and then also show off new development stuff.
All right, so that's 2, 3.
Okay, so you cleared him.
So now what? Is he going to move one, do you think? Or is that a bad idea?
I think it might make sense for him to move one.
But you're not going to want me to go in and clear another marker, are you? I'm already at 15.
Just to stand here to shoot spawn stuff next turn.
Or does he have to shoot these guys pretty soon? Like, is he defending us? This seems like our bigger horde, because if these guys get an extra action, they're gonna be right on top of us.
Here, I'm gonna put this in Meeple.
Yeah.
This is our player tracker now, guys. This Meeple. There.
Because if he goes in here and shoots, and we're here, like he can hit us, right?
Yes. So I mean, if he's standing here, he can actually shoot these guys that are gonna appear. You
I
know,
guess
like
the question is, what's the bigger threat, this
Yeah, I
or what
don't
comes from
know.
up here, or these guys?
well, we don't have any runners on the board, so in theory, all of these guys are going to be walking.
Yeah,
one-
we just have to have a bad draw, and then maybe they can be on
Yeah.
top of us, but that's not that big a deal. Yeah, and he's right. He's not going to go in here. It's probably going to be me or, well, no, yeah, me or who else has a low health here, or Ralph.
Yeah. Well, actually, any of the three you guys. It just can't be me.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
So I mean, he can hang out there. It's just the more killing he does, he's just going to gain more experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you index my experience up for those 2 kills?
Yeah, I did. Yep. You're up to
Okay.
15 now, so you're close.
Crushing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the layers, so the way layers work is they're kind of weighted to sync based on size, and so all the webcams sit on top of everything, and so then the cards will sync based on their sizing. So if I drop them, they'll fall below these. Like this component will fall below these cards. Our goal is to make it so it's kind of logical. So then if I take a card and put it next to a card that's similar in its size, they will lay on top of each other. So you can manually say, oh, I actually want this one to be on top, and if you put it there, it will lay on top of each other. So whichever one you selected last will go on top. But then big stuff will fall below the little stuff, and there's kind of a threshold that controls that. And then the board cam we can lock. So there's a little lock down here. When you lock the board cam, you can no longer move it by itself. You just move the whole screen if you drag it around. And the nice thing for that is if like you're taking cards and putting them out on the board and you mistakenly click off the board, you don't want to move it for everyone else. We've talked about having locks on individual game components as well, and we probably will put those in. So like if we wanted to lock the character sheets so you can't move them, but currently individual components can't lock themselves, but that's on the list. The other thing that you can do is that I haven't shown is you can actually like zoom in really close on any component, and when you zoom in really close, you'll see kind of like what kind of, when we scan in, what the card quality looks like from the scans. So if you do have components that have little tiny text on them, like you definitely can read them on the cards. Okay, so Thad, where did you decide you wanted to end up?
I think I stay. And just keep killing.
Stay, and when these guys step in, yeah, just kind of clear the way from us when we come back.
Yeah.
And you can always slip through those enemies if you need to.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. The house rule that we use, when I used to play this a lot, was you couldn't actually communicate with each other unless you were in the same square. And that actually worked pretty well. Like sometimes I'd be sitting there like looking at Dre, like, please don't do what you're saying you're gonna do. You know, like I'm just like mentally thinking, oh no. Yeah, Agent Dave, this is a co-op game. Yeah, so the game is playing against us. The zombies are getting spawned by the rules of the game, and then we're these 4 survivors trying to fight our way through here. Yeah, so I think that's fine, Ted. You stay there, and then Ralph. What do we want to do with Ralph?
Ralph should probably get the X. What do you
But he
think?
can't. Oh, you mean like next turn, have him here?
Oh wait, no, he can't open the door, can he?
Yeah, somebody else. Somebody else is gonna have to open that door. I'll open it on the first turn next turn.
Yeah. So like Ralph should probably just move a square, shoot at one of these guys, and move back, right?
Well, once we open this door, we're gonna get just a shitload of guys appearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can take some out, right? He
Yeah.
can move out here.
And this guy's gonna spawn too. So like I think having Ralph standing here would actually be nice for us.
Also, you just want to have him hang out.
I know. I mean that sucks. It feels like we're wasting a turn.
Ah.
Yeah, Dave, that is why you can see all the cards. So we do have the ability to have card secrecy. So, like, Mike, you want to just pick up one of your cards, just some random card.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a concept of picking cards up, and then you own the card. So Thad just picked one up here, and now it's face down, and it has this little, like, blue bar under it, and Mike's has this little orange bar under it. And that means he owns it, so he's the only player that can see it. If I try to flip it over, I can't see it. So everyone can have their own secret hands. And so the like when I scan cards in, they scan in face down. So essentially, those cards become something that could be traded or passed around or whatever. So if we play like something like Catan on here, everybody has their own card stack that they're dealing with. Okay. I think it's worth having them hang out with us up here. I know that kind of feels like a waste of his turn, but
No, it's fine because that's like a defensive position for us.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're making our stand while we go in.
all right. Okay, buddy. Because this
Right.
now that we're in yellow, like this room's going to be a lot worse than these other ones that we've encountered so far. All right, zombie turn.
There's a big one right here.
Yeah, we're getting run down here. Bad news, guys.
What, a fatty?
All walkers get an extra turn.
Oh, I knew it. We're toast. We're pretty much done. I think that's it.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're
well,
done.
hey, come on. Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Well, look at this.
We got
We'd
a
have to
bunch.
roll-
We got a bunch of turns.
Yeah, so wait, none of them are. I thought they were all attacking us.
No,
this
no,
turn,
just
or no?
stepping in. They were just stepping
Oh,
in.
right, because they moved too. I see. None were in adjacent squares.
Wait, you didn't have any runners coming in from?
No,
se-
we killed all the
We
runners.
killed all the runners.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, I guess it's sweet.
Well, I thought we were getting attacked right now.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, that is something that we've been struggling with a little bit, just with the whole concept. Is we feel like when people get their hands on it and actually play with it a little bit, a lot of the kind of mystery of how it works and what it's good at and what it's not good at becomes really clear. We have admittedly had a little bit of a hard time kind of getting that expressed concisely in video form, but I do like the idea of doing some like how to do the like a vantage point of the host and see kind of how the host what it looks like for the host sitting here instead of just seeing my face would be good. Okay, so we're in a mess, guys. Ross, axe time, baby. All right, so Ross is a 4+.
So not to play revisionist history, but like,
Yeah.
should Ralph have stayed on our square, or now that we know
No,
what we
he has
know?
range 1+. We want.
Yeah, but he'd shoot at us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he ignores us
Oh,
he's
because
got
he has a.
a steady hand. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
so he can
Perfect.
fire on our position, which is great.
Right.
Okay, so
Ash away, Ross.
yeah, here we go. 4+. Okay, no. Got one.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
All right, so one down.
that's my turn.
Yeah, Josh, you're up.
Joshua.
So what are you? Oh, Joshua. Sorry, yeah, you're 4+ also. All right.
Yeah, same deal. All right. here
Come
we
on,
go.
let's roll a bunch of 4s. When you refresh, Mike, you got to add it back in. Yeah,
what'd you say?
Dave. When you did the refresh, Mike, you got to add it back to your bag. The dice.
Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay. Yeah, hold on a second.
Dave, yeah, that's a good point. So the demo site that we built, we pre-populated it with Gloomhaven pieces, just because Gloomhaven is like the rage. We made kind of just like a gut decision of which game to put into the demo site to kind of show off the capabilities of the tool, so how close you could look at cards and flipping them over and moving them around and stuff, and then preloaded it with a loop of Gloomhaven like board cam stuff. Currently, a cam is required for the system. We've talked about like, so when you come into the game, your camera is turned off. You can see I just turned mine off. And it would just be audio when you come in. You can also turn off your audio too if you wanted to, using these checkboxes up here in the top corner. But we're pretty strongly pushing for having at least audio. The big thing we're trying to emulate here is people sitting around a table. Like if you're gonna do like a chat box, the concern that we have is really you could go play like a tabletop simulator, a Tabletopia, and it doesn't feel like you're playing with another human being. So we're really kind of trying to make our system very heavily focused on giving like just sitting at a table type feel. So currently you do have to have a webcam and or mic. And then we consider maybe doing something in chat in the future, but I'm very concerned about communication in this system when you're not able to talk to each other.
All right, here we go.
Okay, 5. Got one. Come on, Mike. Be a hero. Okay. So you got one.
That's not good.
I got one. All right, Thad. You're gonna have to. Oh no, you're gonna step. You're gonna have to pan people, dude.
Wait, what?
Well, yeah, because I have a pistol.
Yeah, he has a pistol.
What, can he walk? Should he walk? No, he can't walk out.
Yeah, because he can't shoot it. Yeah, you're gonna have to pan people.
That means
what? That's like impossible, man. So wait, like, let me make sure I understand. In melee mode, you can't use a pistol, or how does that work?
Right. Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Let's see how hot you get with your dice.
What do you need? What is it?
6.
Oh, man.
All right, come on, cocktails. Negative.
Ooh.
Negative.
Ooh.
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. 0 for 4.
Okay. All right, Ralph has got to be our hero, but we have how many guys on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yikes. All right, Mike, you want to roll for Ralph? He's got to roll 3+.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
should have given that other pistol to Ralph, man. We messed it up.
That's okay.
All right. 1.
That's good. 1.
Oh my gosh, he got 1.
2 out of 4.
Well,
Oh,
he
no, we
doesn't-
only
no,
get
he
3.
three turns.
He only
Yeah,
gets-
so he only got 1.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zombies on our square. And they're gonna hit. Oh, that's gonna kill both of these guys.
Yeah,
All three of
everyone's dead. Everyone's dead.
We're not gonna play with the zombivers.
Are these walkers or runners?
They're walkers.
Okay.
But yeah, all 3 of us on this square are all dead.
That's what I'm saying. We got too lucky too early. If we would have had a little bit more
Yeah.
luck towards this end, we would have been okay.
Yeah, so we have gotten a bunch of feedback from publishers and designers. So one of the things that we've been doing with the platform is actually playing games that are either newly released or about to be released or coming to Kickstarter. So we play them with the designers. On our YouTube channel, you can see us playing Tiny Towns in the system with Peter McPherson, who's the designer of Tiny Towns. We played Cosmic Run Mining Colony with Dr. Finn's Games, which is on Kickstarter. And then we've done a game called The Curse of Misfortune Lane, which is another card game that was on Kickstarter. So we've been interacting with publishers and designers and getting feedback from them. Everybody's pretty positive. Their stance is really if you have to buy the game to play it, then they're supportive. So I keep naming games that Dave doesn't know. What do you play, Dave? So maybe I can speak to it.
Holistic Developer had a good question too, which we talked about.
To have backers join.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what a lot of people said. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and so Pandemic. So Pandemic's a good one. So I play a Pandemic Legacy regular game on Vorpal. So we play with 2 players in Wisconsin and 2 in New York. Everybody's remote on their own PCs. And we play pretty much like how you've watched us play this tonight. We play with all the cards heads up, and I'm in charge of the board. And since it's a legacy game, it's really kind of the only way to do it because our board is, has stickers all over it and stuff. I I think we have some legacy footage on the YouTube channel, somewhere in there in one of the older videos. And then Fireball Island we haven't played on here, but I think that one probably would actually be pretty easy if I only remember the original Fireball Island, but essentially it's just people moving around on the track. I have not played Stop Thief before, so I can't speak to that one. But Pandemic is a good match. It's got a lot of card scanning, so you're scanning in the cards. We've this group, we have a long video of us playing Forbidden Island, which is essentially a proto-Pandemic, and that works really well. That was the first team stream. Thad, are you able to grab the YouTube link for the Forbidden Island playthrough?
Yep. Yeah, I'll grab that right now.
Yeah, Pandemic was like our original use case for this platform.
Yeah,
right?
it was the first. I think the first game I played on here was Pandemic. And one of the tricks with Pandemic, that was kind of the origin story of the board cams, because Pandemic, you have to be able to read the city names, and the board is such a size that if you try to do it with via video, reading the city names is really, really difficult. And so that's when we kind of made the aha moment of we should switch over to doing photos instead of video, so we could read those city names. So yeah, Pandemic's a good match. Forbidden Island's good. We actually just played Forbidden Sky, which is another Matt Leacock joint, and kind of has a lot of the same mechanics as Pandemic does. So yeah, both Forbidden Sky and Forbidden Island that are good ones to grab.
We don't have a specific one for Pandemic, do we?
We haven't done one as a team stream, but I thought that I had posted one of me and my buddies playing that. It might just be a highlight on the Twitch channel. I'm not positive about that one. So, do we want to play this one out with Ralph, or are we just going to have Ralph turn that pistol on himself? Is that Ralph's? Is that Ralph's?
I mean, we can play it out. I mean, I kind of want to see what happens, Ralph. But
well, the problem is Ralph can't open any doors, so Ralph is stuck. Yeah. I guess. He'd have to mosey all the way back in here, right. Search. Yeah, I think Ralph is just gonna swallow a bullet on this one, unfortunately.
What's that movie where the guy takes it at the end?
The Mist.
The Mist. Oh my God.
That is the most depressing end.
I won't give any spoilers, but I guess that's movie. Oh, that's like over 10 years old.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And the funny thing is that's a Stephen King short story that's really, really good, but that wasn't the end of the Stephen King short story. So Frank Darabont, the guy who made that movie, he's the same guy who did the one in prison, Shawshank Redemption. So that's another Stephen King story that he made into a movie, but he added that ending to the end of The Mist, and like that makes the movie. I mean, just a movie.
It's just locked in my head now. I can never forget that.
Yeah. But yeah. So guys, remote guys, how did Zombicide play? I mean, I know our session was pretty quick, but what did you feel?
This played good. Like the only thing, that's why I was suggesting the colors or whatever. Like unless you turn them to the side, I couldn't actually tell.
Yeah, differentiating between runners and walkers is tough.
And that's kind of like when I was watching the video, like the playthrough videos for it, I had the same kind of question about that. Like that's why you're painting in them and things like that. So that's as much a thing with the game as anything else.
So then like these are the fatty types, so you can actually kind of tell them apart because they're bigger. And then this is the Abomination, so you can definitely tell the difference on the Abomination. But the runners and the walkers, yeah, I can see that's a little bit tricky.
But no, that was good. Like all these games have been fun. I think makes me think about the dice stuff's got to get totally reworked in terms of just like making it a lot simpler of an interface.
Yeah.
Just because at some point in this game you get to like 2 dice, right, or something like that. So just be able to add and remove.
Oh God, yeah. Sometimes depending if you get like flamethrowers and stuff, like you're rolling a lot of dice. Yeah, or SMGs, dual SMGs, you can roll like 6 or 7 dice at once, I think. So.
And I think there was a bunch of questions in the chat too about just like the little scoring things. But I think that's probably one of the nice to have things we should add pretty quickly here, just so it's straightforward.
Yeah,
so everyone can manipulate them.
And then some feedback on making player card ownership clearer. Right now we use that pill underneath the cards.
You think like a border, or what would
maybe?
Be best
Yeah, I'll have to look at some other examples of ways that other games have done that. Because the pill can get like, especially in a game like this where you're putting cards on top of other components. The pill can can get lost. Like, you know, like this card right here, right? Like if you pick it up, Mike, or no, you're orange. Like if Thad picks it up and it's dark blue, like it can get kind of lost amongst the other colors on the player card it's sitting on, you know.
We can do that, like some sort of border or glow or something like that.
Oh yeah. I mean that the mechanics of how that works can definitely change. But yeah, I mean I think this plays pretty well, and I chose the biggest possible board in Zombicide. I don't think they get bigger than 3x3, just to sort of see how that played, because sometimes it's like a 2x3, not a 3x3. So I just wanted to get a feel for if this was playable from this distance. Question coming from chat, Dave. By huge games, what are you talking about? Like Twilight Imperium or something like that? I mean, what do you huge in what way?
Railroad Tycoon.
I haven't played Railroad Tycoon. Is that just is the footprint large? I mean, on the table, is that how it's big? Okay, so I mean, 3 regular boards side by side might be a little bit tricky. This system can support multiple board cameras, so you could have multiple cameras set up, but then you're talking about more cell phones.
James, is this as high as the arm goes right now?
It goes a little bit higher, actually.
Okay.
So this is getting close to straining the limits of the size of the arm, but I can actually make it.
This would be actually good to measure that out and see what that
I
would
mean,
be.
it goes like, you know, I think like 38 inches high or something like that. Let's see. Let's keep going higher.
See all the weird stuff you have on the floor back there.
Yeah, this is really going to be embarrassing, because you're going to see all the junk sitting on the floor. Okay, so yeah, the arm fastens to the table. It's got kind of like a padded clamp on it, so you can see the clamp part down here that's holding it. And then this is close to as high as it will go. But that would, I mean, you'd definitely be able to fit 3 standard boards inside this space, because these Zombicide pieces are already, this 3x3 is bigger than one standard board by a good amount. So I'd have to look at Railroad Tycoon and just sort of see if we could make that work.
Since we're capturing images, can we crop the board stream?
Sorry, it was driving me crazy that it was like
Yeah, I was gonna.
it was like tilted like that. It was like a Batman villain's house. Like manually do a crop area, Thad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't. I mean, most of the time when I set it up, I'll just sort of like frame it so it fits. But we could crop down the board view, theoretically. Look at that. There's just knives all over my house. on the floor. There's just a utility knife. Oh, God. Oh, people are going to get Child Protective Services coming to my house.
This guy doesn't even have his table's not even big enough for Railroad Tycoon.
Right, yeah. But yeah, it fastens to the table. And like, you know, like even at this height, you know, the photos that we're able to take are still really playable. Like at this height, if you had small text on the board, it might be a little bit of a tricky situation to read what the small text is. But as long as you're playing a game that is more kind of color and art and not so much text, it would be fine from this sort of height.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I don't want to overemphasize this, but the actual gameplay is a lot different than the Twitch stream. It's much cleaner.
Yeah, I mean,
laggier.
Yeah, I mean the trick with streaming this also is everyone sort of seeing just my side of the world for the local.
We should
player.
do a 3-way Twitch stream next time.
Yeah, each of us
does our own.
Each of us, does our own Twitch stream at the same time.
Yeah.
I have found that to be a remote player is extremely pleasant. Partially because you really kind of don't have to be the one moving stuff around sometimes. But also you can kind of see everything very easily, whereas if you were playing this game and you were sitting at the actual table, you can't really see other players' cards that easy. You're kind of always like leaning across the table or asking, you know, like, oh, what are you holding, or what's your experience, or whatever. So when you're a remote player and playing in Vorpal and everything's kind of just right in front of you, I think it can be really nice.
Yeah, the player experience is definitely better. Having done both, being the remote is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and you're right, Dave. Like, you just join. I mean, the remote player, there's no setup for the remote player. They just join in and they're ready to rock. So these guys get to just, join my game after I've set up everything on my end, slaved away for them. But that's one of those things where, like, the game host in the real world kind of takes on that role as well. So, like, when I'm hosting people and having people over to play Zombicide, like, I'm doing all the work to set the game up prior to people showing. Possible to solo view. I'm not sure. I don't understand the question. Like, we don't see Mike or Thad. No. So the virtual table is it shares everything. That's kind of like the concept. So what we can do, though, and sometimes people do this, is, like, let's say all this stuff over here was, like, somebody else's, and I just didn't want to see it. I can actually move the table and like, get it all off the screen, right? So they still see it. When I move the table like that, they don't see those changes. So everyone's view is unique to themselves. So I could have a bunch of stuff of my own over here, and we'd all see the board, and then their stuff is kind of hidden, and they can be working on it over here. So I have played some dungeon crawlers where everybody kind of has their own cards and their own player boards, and they put them on their own sides, and then everyone kind of orients their screen so they don't see everybody else's junk. Some games you want to be able to see other players' cards, sometimes you don't. There isn't a way to hide them all today. We really kind of are shooting for making it feel like everyone is at least sharing the virtual space, but you can at least shift them around if you need to. All right, so other news stuff that's going on. This is the last week of our Kickstarter. Currently, we have a ways to go. I think we're about almost 60% towards the target. So the last 5 days would have to be pretty strong for us to get there. So if you haven't checked us out, you can check us out on Kickstarter at Vorpal Board, or you can sign up for our mailing list at vorpalboard.com. And then you'll always have the latest news. I'm pretty active on Twitter, so you can always come and, like, ask me questions, or if you have, like, ideas or thoughts of other games that you'd like to see played, definitely hit me up there. And then we do this dev team stream on Monday nights, and then I do some additional streams. Additional streams during the week. Question, holistic developer, how do we plan on handling feature backlog? So the way that we're planning for feature backlog is, if the Kickstarter funds, we already have kind of our whole set of features that'll be implemented as part of the Kickstarter. Anything that we need to tweak before we go live, when we deliver all the hardware. So that dev list is pretty static. If, like, things come up that we identify while we're playing games or something that we would change, and the beyond that, so after the scope of the Kickstarter, we haven't decided how we would be coming up with sort of the feature direction. I would anticipate that we would be doing it via voting system.
I think so too,
Obviously,
yeah.
there's stuff that we'd want to do ourselves that, like, just sort of architectural maintenance that would be going on. But then for, like, new feature work, I think we would probably be letting the community vote at least on a certain percentage of that. So the 50K. So a really good portion of the 50K is to allow us to get materials in quantities that make it feasible for us to produce the hardware portions of the product. So part of it is the software portions of the product, and then the other portion is the hardware portion of the product. So building the scanning box and sourcing things like plywood and leather, and the non-glare glass that we're using, all of those things are very difficult to do if you're only making 50 of these things. So the 50K is based on us having a targeted quantity that we want to manufacture, to make it so the cost to manufacture those boxes is tenable. And then, definitely a part of it is for additional software development, since Mike and I are really kind of doing this as a night and weekend project currently. And so there's some components that need to get upgraded that we actually license, and then actually just the server architecture that we use and all those sorts of things. So yeah, it's kind of a mix of all those things. We don't have a breakdown on it. We have a breakdown. We don't have a breakdown on the Kickstarter, obviously. But yeah, I mean, that's something that we could put together to have on the Kickstarter, to say like, okay, this is where the $50,000 would potentially go to. When we originally were slotting out that budget, we were targeting that would represent somewhere in the vicinity of like 500 users, so 500 units that would be getting purchased. And so our average contribution has actually been a little bit higher than we anticipated, because people are going with the lifetime option, probably more than we anticipated originally. So that's a good piece of feedback, is to actually break out what we anticipated that 50,000 going towards, which is a little bit tricky, because if we were to hit the 50,000 this week, where it ended up going would probably be a little bit different, because we're going to have less total users than we would have thought. Like I said, the average pledge is a little bit higher than we anticipated.
We're not dumping all the cash into our pockets, though.
No.
It's all going back into the business to grow it.
No, we are not. We're not dumping. I go as far as saying we're not dumping any of the cash into our pockets.
No.
But yeah, I mean, that definitely is something that we can work on actually exposing a little bit more of. One of the things that I think people don't always anticipate with software systems is just the ongoing maintenance that's generally required to keep some of these things running, especially when you're building like a web system. It's definitely not like set it and forget it. There's overtime maintenance that's going to have to be getting done to just make sure it's running on every web browser we want it to run on, and every Android phone we want it to run on. So I think a lot of the times it's when you're buying something on Kickstarter, it's easy to think, okay, what exactly, they're making 500 of these. I should know exactly what the raw materials costs are, and then this is what the actual total spend should be. On the software side, it's a little bit trickier, because just as time goes on, there's maintenance work that we have to do, which is human body time. And so I know some people don't like to see that in Kickstarter breakdowns. They'd rather just know like what the physical components cost. Good question. It's web-based. Yeah, so everything runs in a browser, but there's very, very minimal amount of data that actually flows through a server. So we use a technology here called WebRTC, which stands for Web Real-Time Communication. It's a platform that's backed by Google. They use it in their Hangouts, Google Hangouts technology. And that's how we do like all this video and audio chat. And the neat thing about WebRTC is that it's encrypted by default. So all the data is encrypted, and it's actually point-to-point. Our computers are connecting to each other directly. There's a server that helps them connect to each other, and then the computers actually communicate directly. So Mike and I, and Thad and I, and Thad and Mike are in a little like mesh, and we send the data directly to each other. And the nice thing about that is, my guess was that you were kind of headed towards questions about like privacy and security. The nice thing is that all the data is encrypted, and it's going not through a centralized body, right? So all this video and audio and all that stuff is not going through any servers. And the nice thing about that is, from a privacy standpoint, like, we don't want to be having that data come through any of our servers. We're much more happy to have that data all be direct communication, because it's really, we're not looking to be in the business of stealing people's data or selling people's data. Yeah, I'm just reading some comments here. Yeah, holistic developer, that's a good point. I mean, I got kind of feedback in a couple different directions on sort of exposing what the human cost is of developing software, because I do think a lot of people sort of see a product and they think, okay, well, this should all just be set and forget, and it's ready, right? And when it's shipped, it's good and done. And like, we want to make sure that if we do this, we actually have maintainable platform that we can support for years to come, which is why we're trying to set ourselves up to be able to have the time to work on the project, right? Because this can't be something that's just done for free forever. And so that's kind of, we're a little bit uncomfortable exposing some of that, which maybe is a fault. But we're a little bit uncomfortable talking about it just because a lot of times when you get into those conversations with people, they start saying, well, like, there shouldn't be any additional costs, right? Like, as soon as it's done, it's done. And that people who've worked on software know that that's like not a reality. If Google comes out with a new version of Chrome and breaks something, like, we need to fix it so that you can keep using the software on Chrome. We don't want to sell a piece of software that then 6 months from now is obsolete, right? So yeah, that was a tricky decision. And I definitely appreciate sort of the feedback to try to be more transparent with that, but we discussed it, and we kind of tried to not talk too much about it, which maybe was not the right choice. Yeah, I agree, Dave. Just we're nervous about that, right? We want to make sure that if we fund and we tell all these people, hey, we're going to build you a system that you're going to buy a lifetime subscription to, like, our intention is that lifetime lasts a long time. That you're not, buying a subscription and then we can't run the business after 2 years or something because just the model that we put together wasn't viable. And that's where we came from for, like, the subscription and having host subscription fees and having the remote players free. We don't want to have ads all over this thing. We don't want to have, we don't want to be selling data. We don't want to be like a free app that then is just selling people's data out to other data harvesting places. Like, we don't want to be in that business. And so we're trying to set ourselves up to not be in that business from the front. And I think when people see, oh yeah, well, you have to pay for this? Well, why isn't it free like Spotify or whatever? And it's like, the reality is that those free tiers of stuff, the reason they're free is because they're harvesting data, they're selling usage data, they're putting ads all over the place. It's just that we were hoping that we could build a system that didn't have to do that. Let's see.
You want me to answer Agent Dave's question?
Which one?
The most recent one. He wants to be generic about it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So roughly we have about 10K for software. And it's some of the things that James and Mike have talked about. We've got about $10,000 in, I'll call it capital for the manufacturing equipment. So we're making a lot of things ourselves. The whole scanner box, for the most part, we're laser cutting that. We have some sunk costs in being able to do that. We've got some capital and things like die cutting for our custom box that's going to have a nice insert in it in the actual box itself. So it's a nice storage box. That's actually the most expensive thing, individual item out of the whole hardware side, is the freaking storage box.
Yeah.
And then some other equipment to be able to do riveting efficiently and things like that, dies for cutting leather and whatnot. Then we got about 20,000 in just pure raw materials. Some purchase components. Obviously, we're not manufacturing the arm, but it is a custom, not mainstream arm. And then the last 10 out of the 50K is probably going right toward marketing and other things like being able to go to a show and having a nice booth presence at a show. So, in that 50K, there's no fat. It's thin. It's rolling on a Kickstarter so we can get this thing in the hands of people so they can start using it, loving it, getting this real feedback and whatnot. So,
yeah, and I think I would hope. I mean, the thesis here, right, is that there's a crowd effect to the idea that once a certain amount of people have it and they play it with friends, those friends are like, man, now I could play this with my parents, or I could play this with a brother who lives in California, or whatever. Like, I could have my kids play with their grandparents, all that sort of stuff. So, like, we believe that once people use it and mess around with it and say, like, wow, this is really neat, that will get a ball rolling. So, like, we're comfortable with the idea that the Kickstarter was essentially to kickstart the business. It was enough to get it out to enough people that we feel like then that ball would get rolling, and then we could turn it into a real functional business. And so, that's what we're hoping happens. Like I said, this week's got to be pretty killer. So, yeah. Okay. No,
Thanks,
that's good.
Dave.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention the beer budget.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, a holistic developer. You're exactly right. So a lot of times people ask us, when we're talking about sort of the three of us and how we got to where we are in terms of how far we've come with like getting the software and the hardware to where it needs to be. People say, well, okay, tell us how you did that and what was the budget to get you there. And like, obviously we've spent a lot of our own time and money getting to this point, but yeah, budgeting $10,000 for software dev for like kind of the scope of what we're looking to do. The only reason that we can do that is because Mike and I are doing the work. If we had to actually go and pay a firm or do a consultant or something, it's way, 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 way more money than that. But the one thing I'll say is that, when you talk to people who are not in the software industry, sometimes that can be a little bit of a shock to people at like how expensive it is to build software, especially if you're going, and just with a consulting firm and not an internal company or something like that. So yeah, the only way that we get to this point on the numbers we're talking about is that Mike and I can do the work. And that also that Thad can do all the product design and sourcing work too, right? So none of this stuff is we're not outsourcing any of those things. And that's kind of how the budget can be what it is. All right, so the next stream, for anybody who's here and wants to come and check us out again, I'm going to be streaming on Wednesday night. I'm going to be streaming a new game. It's coming to Kickstarter soon. I think it's coming in June. It's called Lumberjerks, and it's by some friends of the company Howling Hog Games.
Sweet.
And these guys previously did a Kickstarter for a game called Curse of Misfortune Lane, which is another card game. Lumberjerks is a card game as well. I'd classify it as kind of a family card game. I play it with my two children already a number of times. I just have the prototype and they love it. So I'm going to be playing that game on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, with the two designers, with Austin and Alex from Howling Hog. Yeah, I know, Dave. Sorry, more games that you don't know. I know. Well, nobody knows this one because it doesn't exist yet. So, but it's fun. It's a quick play. And it's got a small box, which is big for me. I love games that come in small boxes, so I can take them with me. But we're doing that Wednesday, and then I'm not sure what the rest of the week looks like. We'll probably do something Friday or Saturday over the weekend, but we'll know more by Wednesday. And then and I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that we definitely wanted to cover tonight. Thanks so much for all the questions. This has actually been really good.
Yeah, this has been a really good one.
Like I imagine you can tell that we like talking about this stuff. So anytime somebody like starts asking us questions, we'll just start like talking forever. But yeah, it's nice to have people come in and sort of pick at the idea a little bit. That's very helpful. So thanks for coming to the stream. Check out the Kickstarter if you haven't. Stand on street corners and scream Vorpal board, or whatever mechanism you can use to spread the word. And I will see everybody on Wednesday night. Hopefully next time we play, we do a better job of surviving.
Yeah, we got wrecked. We got absolutely wrecked.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Awesome, though.
I knew it. This has happened to me like 4 times. There is a mode in the game that they released later where if you die, you flip over the card and you become a zombivor. So you become like a zombie version of yourself. And
Okay.
you slow down, you get one less action, but like essentially you can like keep playing.
Weird.
And I think they added it just because the game was so punishing right out of the gate. So, but I didn't want to play with the zombivers because season 1 didn't have zombivers. They didn't appear until season 2, I think. So, anyway, all right. Thanks everybody. Good
Sweet.
night.
Talk to you later, guys.
Cheers. Later, boys.